who start the violence, the threats, the assault? Who assault who first?
Well, today he was taken to court and an ex parte application was made for him to be held over for 48 hours. It was granted by Judge McIntosh.
Just know that self-defense is rooted in the belief that people should be allowed to protect themselves. The law allows that.
Well, the judge is monitoring the situation. As I said, he does have a wound, and in terms of client care, that is the most important thing right now.
So in part, it means that someone doesn't necessarily have to wait to the point of actually being struck in order to act in self-defense.
How is he doing mentally with all of what is happening?
He's understanding the process, so he is there. He is anxious for the matter to be resolved, so we are just awaiting for Friday.
Bang!
Yeah, look, near you here. Hear me, I said, man, you don't know the thing, or you know the vibes. From a hot topic, you don't know if you may just have it televised. So watch where you walk and where you talk, say. Ready and ever active. Them streets and I love a rasting, no. Fear me, Edjahz. Where I go on, me there a dog. I watch them and switch pan them brother dog. Like them want me go rinse the beretta hard.
JAII, this matic and empty the clip. JAII, squeeze the trigger, make 450 skip.
Blessings and honor, glory and power. You don't know if you may just up on a brand new show, a fresh new show. Big up all them subscribers and all them viewers them. And all the subscribe it, nothing at all, no change. The door is always open, so don't know if you go do. Now on this show, we're still on the topic of popular podcast host JAII and popular producer / manager JAHVY ambassador situation. We're all supposed to know by now a two top liar the ones them get on the case. Veteran liar have him name a long time Peter Champagne, I represent JAHVY ambassador, while popular liar ISAT BUCANAN, I represent JAII. And all supposed to know say them man they fly the gate for one of the biggest cases in Jamaica. So them two attorney at liar and normal, them have them name. Anyways, we get an update from JAII liar. Who don't know how ISAT get to work. Them man they always update the public on how him client do. And so far ISAT make you know say JAII need medical attention same way. Remember the podcast have a gunshot wound and it look like him still no recover from that. So it look like ISAT BUCANAN plan for tackle that tomorrow in a court. And yes people, tomorrow Friday them a go before the judge once more again. So make sure to stick around for the update because we have follow up the case right through. So we have an update from the liar for you know. Likewise we have a next update with ISAT go live and I speak on the topic of self-defense. Again, who don't know them man they get to work and him tackle him case them. Him not forget vocal pan some era was similar to the case. Him not speak pan the case directly in the people. But him a mention some factors where they consider when you look pan the exact case. For instance, the live where him go, him a speak on the topic of self-defense. I don't know that's one of the main factor we can free JAII. So no doubt we have a lot of follow up from ISAT BUCANAN. But here we go on, we could kick off the show under one vibes and then get straight into the topic.
Deal with this scene like a movie script. JAII, deal with the crime. Innocent man get it. Chrissy tell JAII. JAHVY mouth stink like batty. From that podcast, the JAHVY never happy. So JAHVY go carnival.
Big waist man, oh you fi follow man go shit. One box in a face when you have a matic. A 15 clown really follow back at you. Like a shit and piece you no go deposit. The first man pop off get this arm. And the first man will fire back this.
JAII badness. Pussy walk up, talk up, violate on a bad flick. JAII badness. And me aim straight so a pussy nah late for your casket. JAII badness.
As you can see, we dancehall artists them now waste no time. And yesterday we talk about NG song when named JAII. Yeah man, I hit at the first track we just play. And as you can hear, two more artists run out. Rhyme Minister run out with fame track entitled 450. And no doubt with a title like that, you're not supposed to pick up some clown out 450 and JAHVY them. So definitely, that is a track for go check out. I want to hear the last one I will play from Portmore Bad Artist X Factor. And fame track is entitled JAII Badness, which basically I praise JAII for the show when put on. And allegedly, I will have to go start use that word because a JAII side of the story we get And based on how things are turned out now, with the entertainer them out for battle it out in a court, it's quite obvious JAHVY have a different tale to fame story. Anyways, you can go check out them 3 track the people. We have left a link on the flat, you don't know our style. We always make it easier upon the ones them. Anyways, we have dancehall entertainer FRAIS out for run out the same way. Fame track currently in the making and out for drop anytime soon.
Busy up in place like JAHVY, how we dark up in black car, GPS, white truck up the up and no face paint. Them can't discipline them face paint. Mountain View, back bush.
So first, Mr. Buchanan, we understand you're now representing vlogger JAHVY in the incident that happened at Big Wall. What's the outlook from your perspective?
Well, today he was taken to court and an ex parte application was made for him to be held over for 48 hours. It was granted by Judge McIntosh. I was informed that that took place. I presented myself in court as I do represent him, and the judge amended the orders to ensure that he was brought to get medical attention in relation to his gunshot wound. And we await returning to court on Friday.
And what are you looking for on Friday exactly?
Well, I'll update you on Friday when that time comes.
And what is happening on Friday? Is it another hearing? What's the situation? Just for clarity.
Well, the judge is monitoring the situation. As I said, he does have a wound, and in terms of client care, that is the most important thing right now. So,
how is he doing mentally with all of what is happening?
He's understanding the process, so he is there. He is anxious for the matter to be resolved, so we are just awaiting for Friday.
Okay.
And I have indicated to him that he is to trust the process.
Meaning?
This part of the justice system works. One simply has to trust the process. I'll leave it at that.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to add that I have not asked at this point that you think is important to share?
You know, one of the things the only thing I'll add is that there has been a culture in Jamaica that cases are tried in the media, but it is evidence on the court, and sometimes the media can just allow persons to get due process as well as respect the Constitution, and I'll leave it at that.
Are you concerned with what has been in the public domain and this reported on the media so far? Does it raise any concern for you?
The media. See, like I said, respect for the Constitution includes freedom of expression, the ability to disseminate information. Is just my only caution is to do so responsibly.
Yeah, you mentioned that you requested for him to be allowed to go to seek medical attention. Is it that the police haven't allowed him to seek medical attention since he was initially brought to hospital?
Well, you see, that's it. When dealing with government, you will have a lot of red tape, and so those who are responsible at the lockup don't necessarily be the persons responsible for the investigation. So communication can be misinterpreted, and as a result, things get fall by the way. But for all persons in custody, the human rights or the human dignity aspect is important. So we have an injured man that is being detained while the police does their investigation. We have a bail act that says pre-charge bail is a part of the process, and I mean there are many things that we can do to respect the Constitution, but as I said, trust the process.
So basically, ISAT BUCANAN show say JAHVY need medical attention. Him still not recover from the gunshot wound. And all know how Jamaican jail system said the facility not treat up to standard to facilitate and care for an injured inmate. So you can look forward for the lawyer tackle them situation there. Just forget like all our early bail for the podcast.
You are to know who was the aggressor. So if that's the first thing. So you can check the boxes. Who start the violence, the threats, the assault? Who assault who first? Then you ask yourself, was the defendant's belief that self-defense was necessarily a reasonable one? That's another question. You ask yourself that. If somebody come and do you something and then come with a whole of them friend them, and you apprehend fear and the fear is real, ask those things. If so, was the amount of force that was used also reasonable? Well, just know that self-defense is rooted in the belief that people should be allowed to protect themselves. The law allows that, right? So in part, it means that someone doesn't necessarily have to wait to the point of actually being struck in order to act in self-defense. Whatever the circumstances are, any force that would be any force that the defendant uses has to be reasonable under the circumstances. So one must understand. And there are two cases, and I'm just going to tell you, Beckford and the Queen and Palmer and the Queen. No, Palmer and the Queen, that's the name of the case. Those two cases. When I have Google, read up or search it. Beckford and the Queen, Privy Council. Palmer and the Queen, Privy Council. So what does reasonable force look like? Let's talk about that. Well, it claimed to have held that if the particular belief as regards to the existence of any circumstances, then the reasonableness or otherwise of that belief is relevant to the question whether the defendant genuinely held it. It's an honest belief. So if it is determined that the defendant did genuinely hold it, then they're entitled to rely on it for the purpose of the legislation. There's a case that, so even if your belief was mistaken, so if it was mistaken, the mistake was a reasonable one to have made, and there is a case called Gladstone Williams, and I'm going to tell you now about it because it is important.
That was it for the show. Big up all subscribers and all of the viewers who stay until the end of the show. Really appreciate it. Bless up on yourself and go and live good.
Nothing never know, say JAII love beef over Aki. Here say the boy, chung pop off a strap, pop off a strap, and JAII witness arm that JAHVY pop off and shot. Wick in him back, wick squeeze up the trigger and get chung back shot.